There's another architectural detail that I'm fond of adding. You'll see it in some of the videos. And I'm going to use the arc tool to do that. To get us started here, I'm going to click on that corner and this corner. It's a little harder to get to since I rounded that off. Pushed it in earlier. And it's just going to be a, kind of a dome window above the door. Now I'm going to offset that and actually probably get rid of this line right here because that little separation there is kind of nice. So I'm going to offset it again. So it's a window, so it's going to need that support around it. And now I'm going to draw some lines. Instead of dividing it into fourths, I'm going to go from that midpoint right up there, and it should go straight down. And then you can see these vertices from the segment of the arc. And don't get confused and grab a midpoint by mistake unless that's what you're trying to do. And depending on the number of segments here, we actually end up with like a little sliver of one right here. So you can actually change the number of segments in a circle and tinker with that. I'll just leave that one a little bit bigger than normal. Drawing these. So we can paint those different colors. Maybe this is one of the times when I use the midpoint, or how can I find a good, just dividing that in half can be a little bit tricky. Here's one thing to try, is I'm going to draw a line right there. So I'm making that segment bigger, so this line isn't really needed anymore. May look a little funny. And then you could divide that in half. So that gets them about the same size. Looks a little better to me. Once again, I'm just kind of cutting the corner, erasing that line, and using, instead of a vertice, a midpoint there. Once you do that, you've got some different options. These are just lines. I think it would look a little nicer if we offset these a tiny bit as well. Now I'm paying attention. That's 1/8 of an inch. That's 1/4 inch. So yeah, 0.25 inches would do the trick. Now I want to do that on all of them. I don't want to have to type that in for all of them. So what do? I'm going to deselect. I'm going to click spacebar up here in the sky before I do anything else. F to offset, and now I can double click inside each one of these and save myself a heck of a lot of time. And if you do lose it, you simply offset 0.25 inches and try again. Now we've got all of these extra lines. With an eraser tool, I can come right here and just erase just the ones on the inside from that one point, giving me a pretty cool starburst pattern there. Let me pull this out so we've got that frame, and then I'm going to pull this one out as well. It does give us a whole lot of surfaces to paint. So it may be in your best interest to not pull that out quite yet. Because if you paint this a color, when you pull it out, all the extra faces that are created when you do that will have that color paint. So just a quick demonstration. Let me just get my bucket tool. Let me find a nice color here. A lot of times we'll use wood. But I'm just going to pick a color to demonstrate. So I've got that now. It's all one face. It's just divided into bits and pieces. And I pull that out. And now that one color is on all of those faces. So it can really save you a lot of clicking. There's still a lot to be done with all of these other ones. But just got to get it a color. It does not have to be your final color. I can go in here and find a different color. What if I want that to be green? I can just shift click and all of the pinks in the whole house will change to that color. So I don't have to click on all the faces. It just needs to be one consistent color. The wood here leaves something to be desired. We are going to be looking at adding in our own textures we find from the web that we can use that are a little better. See how that's just the one? So then there would be all those others, but I can can go in a little closer, bucket tool, and I'm going to shift and paint the green, and all the green turn to that color of wood. So that, again, that's probably something that you would want to wait to do. When you turn in your house, it's going to need to be an unpainted house. So let's go ahead and undo all of that and just leave it until we start painting, and then you just pop that out there as you do your stained glass or whatever you're planning on.